Welcome back, guys, to the MLG stream covering ESET Masters Season 2 Finals. We're here in Game 2 between Stardust and MMA. Stardust took Game 1 in a very, very fast fashion, to say the least. We're now on Whirlwind in the upper left-hand location, the guy who needs to win this map to have a chance at winning the series and going to the finals of the Season 2 Finals. Sounds confusing. We do have the Red Terran, Acer MMA. And his opponent in the upper right-hand location, already up 1-0. Hasn't dropped a map yet this entire tournament against the best of Europe and now one of the best of Korea. He is the blue Protoss MYI Stardust. Now the big question here is, will Stardust do the similar build to what we saw him do in Game 1 against Monster? That proxy immortal play. There's a side cord. There's no second gas quite yet. If he wants to do proxy immortals, he wants to get that second gas up a little bit faster. Where is this where's this probe heading? Alright, it's heading down. It's not going to be proxy immortals. He's just scouting. So we may see him do a macro build here. Yeah, still no second assimilator. It's going to be just a normal expansion macro build. Meanwhile, we do have MMA going for the a little bit of gas was mined here. Is he gonna get? He's getting a Marine first. Interesting. It looked like it might be Reaper opening, but instead he actually is getting Marines. Okay, 2 Marines and a reactor. So, last game he's like, building that Reaper might have given me too few Marines to defend his shenanigans. So I'm gonna focus on the Marine production this game. And he's just doing a reactor expansion. And this build is actually often turned into a Widowmine drop build. This is early on in the beta, this was one of the most dominant Terran builds. The reactor expansion into Widowmine drop. Flash loved it. I always reference Flash because I like Flash. Stardust has found his opponent by virtue of a process of elimination. He's not in those 2 locations, so he knows he's in the top left. He does not send a probe up the ramp because he knows there's probably Marines waiting there. So to be safe, he's gonna just run that probe kind of in the area and just see what's leaving the Terran base. Meanwhile, Mothership Core is coming out to scout his opponent. Progressing up for a very quick forge. We're going to have an upgrade-focused macro game from Stardust. We know his opponent may be going for the Widowmine drop. There's a very quick factory on the way. Mothership Core Mothership Core is looking at this SCV. He's like, come here, SCV. But there's 4 Marines here. He doesn't want to commit too far. Remember, Mothership Core is slower than Marines. So Marines can stutter step in and run it down if it goes too far away from the no ground zone. SCV is here looking for proxy buildings, making sure there's no proxy pylons, proxy stargates, proxy robos. A bunker is being built in the front to maintain the security of the Terran base. We have Stardust going for the armor upgrade quickly, followed by Robo. Knowing drop play is a possibility, getting a cannon there to be safe against that. He does not have very many gateway units. In fact, if you look at the unit count, he has a single stalker. So if there was a drop, yes, he's going to have an observer so we could see the Widowmines, but you still have to have units to take him out as well. Or if it's a Hellion drop, he'd be in really big trouble without the cannon there. So making sure he has appropriate defense. We do see, in fact, it looks like it is going to be a Hellion drop. Here comes a scan. The scan reveals, it reveals everything. He sees it was forged in Robo, and you know what? MMA is probably pretty happy about this. Now, he'd be happy if there was no cannon there, but the natural might be exposed, and the thing about the opening that Stardust is doing, it's very light on units early on. So trying to do things like deal with the early Hellions is actually going to be a little bit of a problem. It looks like, okay, he might actually poke in the front with Hellions and Marines can hit the main. And there's no cannons in the natural. There could be a photon overcharge, but there's no cannons. And just a photon overcharge alone, the Hellions can still get in and get a lot of probe kills. And if the photon overcharge is forced over here, the Marine drop follow-up that we're going to see, he's going to pick up the Marines right here. This drop follow-up could actually come in and do a lot of damage if the photon overcharge has to be used in the natural. This is a great early game tactic by MMA. It's not an all-in by any means. It's just some light pressure with harass units while he's macroing behind us. And I don't know if Stardust has enough. Here's the Stalkers. Hellion's going to shoot a single volley. Photon overcharge is forced in a natural. Hellion's going to back away. Meanwhile, the drop play comes down. Immortal comes out. Loses his shields, but he's still going strong. He's going to try to take out the cannon. No, he's got it back away. Immortal, great defense by Stardust so far. The Hellions not going to poke in here quite yet. Wow, you know, Stardust really impressed me with that defense. Maybe the Marine should have been dropped up here first and then run in. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but MMA did that very well. He only lost 2 Hellions, but Stardust's defense was just, I mean, look at the workers killed. He only lost 3. And that was due to the first couple Hellion shots. For killing the 2 Hellions and getting, I think he got 3 Marine kills as well. Definitely well worth the trade now. Cannons being built here. Behind this, MMA is transitioning to a more standard Terran game with upgrades. A 3rd command center. But one thing, yeah, Stalkers are all over that. One thing important to note is that MMA is just now starting his first upgrade. You have Stardust is already halfway done with his 2nd upgrade. So he's really heading upgrades. MMA, of course, prioritizing the early medevac, the early Hellions over that upgrade. Meanwhile, it looks like 4 more gateways from Stardust. No fast 3rd base coming down from him. This could either be a type of a timing attack, or could this be play like if you watch SK Telecom's Rain play. He loves taking really late 3rds against Terran, prefers developing his upgrades and his tech first. You know, once he has Colossi or Storm out, then he'll go ahead and take the 3rd base. So we may see that from Stardust as well here. MMA's 3rd base is almost finished. Observer sees it, so he knows the timing of the 3rd base. A scan goes down. Of course, that's going to be trying to see what Stardust has. He sees the High Templar archetypes. He sees the High Templar not being turned into an Archon. A very nice move. A very nice scan, actually. He sees the 6 gateways as well, so he knows exactly what he's dealing with. You see Ghost Academy on the way. Uh-oh, triple drop here. Stardust has no observer in his zone. This could be a very dangerous drop. When will Stardust spot it? He spawned it just now. What's the reaction? His army is actually pushing out of the natural bit. The pylon goes down. There's, oh, nice feedbacks. He's going to lose 1 Archon. He's going to lose, oh, the 2nd Archon barely gets away. Now there's only 1 medevac here. So he's going to have to trade a bit with these units. And actually, Stardust takes a great engagement. Well worth the Archon loss for that. Meanwhile, we did have another drop here. Looks like maybe Hellions ran in here in the natural. They went from 3 worker kills to 6, so only 3 more worker kills there. Stardust's defense has been great, and that drop by MMA, the feedbacks are amazing there. Really shutting that down, killing the medevac. One of the most important units for MMA is the medevac. And off the back of a great trade like that, Stardust, I think he was planning a 3rd base, and he still is thinking about it, but he also wants to deny the 3rd base of MMA. He says, you know what? I just took out, 20 supply of yours for only losing a single Archon. That means you're going to be weak, so I should be able to push in here now. I also have 2 upgrades done. I'm at 2 armor. You only have a single upgrade done, so it's a good time to attack. Coming in here now, the Zealots get taken out trying to run by. There's only 1 medevac, so the Bioforce has a hard time retreating, actually. Stardust with numerical superiority, but the kiting from MMA is so good. The Zealots are going down, but the 3 Immortals and Archon behind her just tear through the Terran force. MMA gets destroyed there. Stardust wins 2-0 in an absolutely dominant fashion there. And, I think what Stardust illustrates so well here is one of the best ways, there's always that saying, Teresa said years ago, win ahead, get more ahead. And I think too many people interpret that to mean, oh, when you're ahead, just take an expansion. But taking expansion doesn't always get you more ahead. For example, if your opponent is expanding as well, taking expansion just keeps you even with them. One of the best ways to get more ahead when you're ahead is if you know you're ahead in army strength. You just like in this example, Stardust just killed 20 of MMA supply for basically nothing in those double feedbacks on the drop, right? So he got a huge army supply lead. If you're ahead in army supply, one of the best ways to get more ahead is use that supply to, at the very least, deny your opponent one of their expansions, or even better, just end the game. MMA was unwilling to sacrifice that 3rd base, so he tried to make a stand there, and the army advantage of Stardust was too big there. He was able to slam down MMA and take that win. And I mean, if you're not ahead by enough, you might not be able to break them, but if you're ahead a lot in army supply, use it. And that's what Stardust does. He never hesitates. He's always willing to be aggressive if he knows the timing is right to be aggressive. And now he's 8-0 in his tournament. He's going to be in the finals. And I think coming up next, we're going to see who will face Stardust. The other semifinal match is between Bly and Corone. That'll be coming up next.